Hello, my name is Ewan Tom, and welcome to my section of the Eve Project game. I have made the initial section where you play as the main sleeper as they wake up from stasis. As you can see here, a few instructions appeared on the screen there, just to help give some context to the player when they start, as well as just fully give them full understanding of what's going on. And this right here is what I decided to put into the game to give a quick tutorial on the drones we'll be using throughout the game. I decided to keep this one simple, just a simple player controller. And that there is in this here is to show that the player can switch back and forth from drones whenever they want, pretty much. This area itself is not really designed to be too big, as that room over there is all that is left of the level itself. This is purely meant to be a small little hub area that the player can traverse through. What I just walked through, when I walked through this corridor here, that started the timer that the player will have, so as to ensure that no matter how long it takes them in that small section there, they will always have the same amount of time left for the remainder of the game. The object that we can see here is actually slowly moving closer towards the spaceship, as this is, and in the final finished version of this game, the sun itself would be synchronized with the timer. You may notice the timer is not going down. That's because in order to actually see how much time is left remaining, the player must calculate the remaining time using this console here. This is to give the player something to do outside of simply just walking towards the capsules or the cryotubes or the VR pods to begin playing the section, the other sections of the other drones. And the player would simply jump into here, and an animation or such would play where the pod itself would close, and then the player would perform the section, leave, and then if they so wish, they may simply continue on to the other VR pod sections, or if they want to know how quickly or how pressed for time they are, then we go back to the console here, calculate time, and see I have 8.5 minutes. Now each section completed would restore time to the player as you've repaired ship systems and given it more functionality, but this wasn't 100% necessary, as unfortunately we were not able to actually get all the pieces put together. And so each section will be completed, entering the different sections, and then eventually the player would complete the section and go back to their pod. I wanted to keep this area small and simple for the time being, at least for this version of the game, so as to not, even in the final version, to keep this simple so as not to overwhelm the player initially, as well as to keep a simple tutorial area. And that is my section. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to my section of the EVE Online game. This is the hookshot part of the level. I'm playing as the hookshot drone, and I am Rui Caldera. So this is how you start. Since you are kind of small, you can't jump very high, so the only thing you can interact with is, as you can see, I have a magnet on me. There's a bar here, which you don't really know what it does yet, but it seems that something changes when I'm hovering above that odd colored pipe. So let me just press the mouse button and it shoots off. You see that yellow bar goes down as it went. Let me see if it releases, goes back to normal. But if you press W, pull drone, you get hook shots straight up. And now you see what you're dealing with. This is a comparatively small level in comparison to the rest of the levels. Since it only takes place in this very short space, you don't really know what you're doing, but you do know that the power cord that you need is up there, except there is absolutely no way to go up there. You see these two objects, but you do see this thing. So once you start exploring a bit, you will realize that this wire connects to this red button, and this one will connect to where this red button is. So you'll start to realize, well, how will I be able to get up there? Well, if what we take from this, how we hovered and then went up there, let's see if we could do that anywhere else. Well, there's a section over there, but we don't need to go there quite yet. As you can see, that's what happens when you don't have enough range. That's what the yellow bar signifies, is the range that you are still able to access. Let's try this one. The collision detection is a bit off. So as you can see, your robot is very miniature. I mean, if you are a sleeper like you, this section is technically built for, but you are a tiny robot, so this feels gigantic in comparison to you. So we pulled this, and now we have access. It revealed, since everything fell down, it revealed this section over here, which we can also grapple onto. Pull drone here. And let's see what going near this button will activate. It reveals this part. So if we go up there, we're almost near the power core, but there is no way we can jump near it. We still need another part of the puzzle. This is where the second puzzle comes from. So we need to get up there, but first, since I already know what it's like, we need to find this cube. And this is something I did not show, that with cubes, with objects you can pull object will show up instead of pull drone, which will allow you to pull the objects. So this is a magnet gun, not really a hook shot. Let's position it so we have a better view of it from up there. It's a bit wobbly, but that's fine. Let's go up there. Pull drone myself down. So this is just something on the ceiling. It's probably some kind of mechanism that the sleepers had to use. And now we need to pull this box up here. So let's just do that. Because as we are now, we cannot do anything to the button, but if we get the off on top of the box and then jump, it did that. So in the full version of the game, it would have animated it so it'll look nice, but since this is very rough, it just immediately teleported over here. No need for animation if we're just testing it. And now, there you have it. You have access to the power core, and that's the end of my section of the level. Thank you.
Alright, so in this section, the player gets to control a flying drone which can pick objects up. As you can see, the drone is developed in a way so that the controls feel smooth, allowing the player to easily maneuver around the tight spaces. The bar you see on the left represents how much battery your drone actually has. The goal of this level is to charge the pods that are low on battery. As you can see the red flashing light down there, that indicates that that particular pod is low on battery, so your goal is to charge it. So what you do is the player has to go near that pod, near the energy cell. Once you're above the energy cell, simply right click to pick it up. Once you have that cell, what you have to do is go through these set of lasers, and every laser you go through recharges the battery of the cell by one tick. Uh, yep, as you can see, I went through that laser and it charged the cell by another tick. So one of the key design changes that was made during the level design process was how the cell actually recharges. Initially, the idea was that the cell that the drone is holding right now would simply recharge just by standing inside the laser. But I changed it so that I changed it and I made it so that every single laser only recharges the cell by one tick, and you have to go through a set of 10. You have to go through 10 lasers in order to fully recharge the cell from zero to full. I did this change so that the player would feel incentivized to fully explore the whole level. Otherwise, the player might just sit near one laser and just keep going into that in order to fully recharge the cell and not explore the whole level. So once you have recharged the cell fully, you simply have to go back to the pod where you picked it from and press left mouse button to drop it. And finally to complete the level, you have to make sure every single cell is recharged and every single flashing red light on the pod is gone and it has turned green.